All right. So let's get started. First, I would like to introduce myself. If you guys have just stumbled across my brand, have just started following me on Instagram or Twitter, or you're totally new to my site, my name is Emily Dela Cruz. I'm a marketer, entrepreneur, and author of Make Yourself Marketable. And I've had the blessing of being able to run my side hustle while working full-time in corporate America up until about 2 weeks ago when I got laid off. Upon getting laid off, I realized that these corporate companies do not love us in the way that we love them. They will lay you off, switch your job description, give you a pay cut in the blink of an eye without any concern for what your expenses are, for what you have going on in your life, and what you're trying to succeed and achieve and succeed in your career, right? So I decided that I wanted to do this webinar because funnels really changed my life. Funnels allowed me to be able to do all these amazing things, right? Be in Forbes and get featured in XO Nicole and be in a magazine and do all these amazing things and still be a professional in corporate America. But had I not set up those funnels and had I not automated the way that I do my marketing, it would be impossible to run a business the way that I do and also work for somebody else. So I wanted to share those tips with you because I feel like it's super duper important for you guys to start getting acquainted with automating your marketing and automating your business processes, especially if you're a side hustler and you're trying to get out of corporate America. So let's talk about some receipts. I went on a whole rant on Twitter the other day, just this past weekend, about how people want to teach things that they haven't been successful at. So you want to be a branding coach, your brand looking trash. You want to be an eyelash artist, you don't know how to glue eyelashes. You want to be a makeup artist because you bought some matte makeup, but you don't even know how to contour. I could go on forever. So these are my receipts. In 2016, I made about $30,000 in side hustle income. This is in selling my Make Yourself Marketable books, my Sanity and Success journals, and other journals that you can find on my shop page. This is not selling services. I don't do one-on-one consultations. I just started offering that a couple of weeks ago, now that I'm doing this full time. But at that time, I was not doing any one-on-one consultations. Girl, I'm not talking to you on the phone. Like, we're just not doing any face-to-face kind of one-on-one services because as a side hustler, I don't have the time, right? When I was working from 9 to 5 or really from 9 to 7, I don't want to come home and make dinner and have to be on call servicing clients, right? So instead, I packaged up my expertise and I made books and digital products that I could use to still service people, but to be able to service them without having to be present. Now, if you have another business model, you can still use marketing automation to promote live events, one-on-one coaching, consultations, and things like that. But where I've made my money is on passive digital products, okay? This isn't all the way up to date. This is QuickBooks. If you don't have QuickBooks, you should definitely invest in it. It is a self-employed software, and it allows you to categorize your business expenses, your business income, as well as your personal income. And it also integrates directly into TurboTax, so you're able to upload all of your, what is called is your Schedule C. So you're able to upload all of your business expenses and business income directly into TurboTax, pay your taxes, and go about your life. You don't need to hire, a CPA or an accountant. You can kind of do it yourself. So this is my system. I haven't categorized every single thing, but so far, with all of the expenses that I've been deducting and everything like that, I'm at $30,294 for 2016. On average, on a month, I would make anywhere between like $2,000 to $2,500. During my best month, I made $9,000. And again, this is all passive income. No, $497 classes, $297 this. This is selling $15 challenges and $20 books. And that's it. So what exactly is marketing automation? It is not rocket science. Okay, guys? It is simply a 3-step process that you need to have in your head. You need to attract people. That's why I have this lovely magnet that I found on Google today. You need to attract people with your content. You need to convince them, right, as to why they need your product. And then you need to convert them to actually make them become a sale. That is a process that you need to take people through when you want to market to them. Again, whether you want to market, whether you have a nonprofit and you want to market to donors or market to volunteers, you need to attract them, let them know that you even exist, that you're valuable. You need to convince them, let them know that they need what it is that you sell. And then you need to actually sell them whatever it is that you're selling. So those are the 3 steps that you always want to think about when you're building out your marketing automation funnels. These are the steps that people need to go through in their head before they're ready to buy. And the problem is, too many times we're rushing to try to convert people and we rush to the money bag without attracting them, right? Without letting them know who it is that we are, how we're credible, what we bring to the table, and why they need our product or service, right? So had I not shown you guys my QuickBooks dashboard, you might still be in this webinar, but the fact that you saw that I actually made money, I've actually done this full time, it adds more credibility. So now you're going to be a lot more attentive than if I just jumped on here and started teaching you without ever kind of qualifying you or convincing you as to why you need this in the first place, right? So these are the things you want to make note of. The next thing is planning. So this is the first step in automated marketing funnels. You need to start planning who it is that you're going to sell to, their problem, your goal, and qualifiers. And we're going to go through all of these. So the first thing is your brand avatar. Who are you actually selling to? You are not selling to your whole entire list. I will tell you one more time. You are not selling to your whole entire list, to every single person that follows you on Instagram, to every single person that follows you on Twitter, to every single person that comes into your store, or to every single person that you give your business card to. Each funnel is going to serve a different kind of person. Each funnel is going to sell a different kind of product. You cannot create one funnel and think that you're going to sell 50 products. No. You need to create one funnel per product, and each funnel needs to be geared towards one kind of person. So let's go with the brand avatar. So if I'm trying to sell financial workshops in Atlanta, the person that I'm targeting is someone who cares about their finances, right? Someone who is interested in improving their finances, who reads personal finance blogs, who follows MyFab Finance, who has read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Think and Grow Rich, right? These are all characteristics of who my brand avatar is, who this particular person that I'm trying to market is all about. Once I have those things in mind, I need to think about what is the problem that I'm trying to solve. You're not going to solve every single problem with every single product. So you want to hone in on one particular issue that you are trying to solve for that particular person. So let's continue with the financial workshops example. The problem you might be trying to solve in this particular season might be taxes, let's say. You want to help people get a bigger tax refund. I'm making this up as I go along. So now that you know who it is that you're targeting and what specific problem you're trying to solve, then you can decide what it is that you want to sell to them. Do you have some sort of ebook on, filing your taxes easily? Are you going to sell them an audio course? Are you selling them one-on-one coaching? Are you selling them, doing their actual taxes? Are you selling them a service? Are you selling them a workshop on a Saturday where they can come and, learn about all of the deductions that they might not know existed? I don't know what it is, but you have to figure out what is your goal? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to buy? Where do you want them to go? You have to steer them in the right direction. And then qualifiers, right? So if you're selling, let's say that the goal is that you want to sell your financial workshop in Atlanta, then guess what? The people need to be in Atlanta, right? So you don't need to buy Twitter ads to market to everybody and their mother because you only want to focus on people in Atlanta, right? You're not going to harass your whole entire Instagram audience about how you're having this workshop in Atlanta because not everyone is located in Atlanta, Georgia, as great as a city it is, right? So the qualifiers are, what are the things that people need to do or have to make them qualified to purchase this service? Let's think of something else. You are a social media expert, right? In order for somebody to be able to purchase your coaching package, they need to have 2 things. 1, social media channels, and 2, money to spend on said social media channels, right? So if you buy, I'm making this up, but let's say if you buy an ad in the newspaper, right, or if you put up a billboard on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, that might not make sense, right? Because the people who are driving by the billboard or the people who are reading the ad in the paper are not people who have social media accounts, right? They might not be people who are actively engaging on social media, so they might not need your services. Same thing, if you put flyers up, in the mall, then I don't know how far that's going to get you, because the people that you're trying to market to aren't reading flyers in the mall, they're scrolling on Twitter and Instagram. So these are all of the qualifiers that you need to keep in mind when you're going to invest time and energy in building out a strategy. So after you've done that, and you should have received in your email the blank worksheets kind of things that has all the fill-ins so that you can fill in all your notes, and you can also go through this exercise with whatever product or service you currently have in mind. Okay, so planning. The next thing is lead magnets and freebies. So how are you actually going to attract them to you? So like I was saying before, sometimes we skip a couple of steps, right? We automatically think, okay, I'm going to create 500 tweets and I'm going to send out emails, and then you wonder why nobody buys. You need to attract them to you first. You need to make yourself credible. Give them something free so that they know that you know what you're talking about, and then you're going to sell them. So here are some examples of what lead magnets and freebies are. And we've all seen them all over the internet. They're, the PDF, the ebook, the checklist that you download in exchange for an email. So lead magnets are just general freebies that apply to your entire site. Content upgrades are freebies that apply to one specific blog post. So let's say I wrote a blog post about 5 ways to grow your social media following. A freebie I might add is the top 25 best hashtags to grow your Instagram following, right? Something that goes directly with the blog post, some additional valuable piece of content that I purposely didn't include in the blog post because I want people to give me their email in exchange for it. And we can go down the list: webinars, blog posts, Periscope broadcasts, tutorials, ebooks, email challenges, all that good stuff. So you want to pick 4 that you already have and can easily make. So I'll give you an example. If your blog is about, let's say wellness, right? Like mental health and wellness. If your whole entire blog is about this one specific topic, pick your 5 best performing blog posts and put it together in an ebook. Or if you have, if you feel like you've been getting the same questions in your email inbox over and over again, create an email challenge that already answers those questions. If you, for example, work one-on-one with clients, think about what is it that they need to know before they come to you. So if you're a website designer, right, what are some of the things that your client needs to know before they actually create their website, right? They need to figure out what their brand visuals are going to be, right? They need to know their color scheme. They should have a logo. They should have a domain name. All of these things that they need before they come to you. So you can create a freebie, whether it's like a webinar or a tutorial, to teach people how to get set up before they hire a web designer, or to teach people how to get set up before they hire a social media consultant. You want to have a couple of different options for people because you want to target them in different ways and in different directions. So for me, I might have a YouTube talking about the same thing. I might have an email challenge. I might do, a pop-up within a blog post. And then I might do, a Periscope broadcast here and there. So by having at least 4, you can attract people at different places depending upon how they like to consume content. But the reason you want to do it this way is because you want them to get familiar with you and get to know you before you run off and start trying to sell them something. Okay. Now we get into the funnels. So before we ever wrote an email, the first thing that we did was we had to plan. Figure out who and what it is that we're going to sell and what would qualify or disqualify them from falling within the funnel. The next thing we had to do was figure out how are we going to get them into the funnel in the first place, right? How are we going to attract them and how are we going to capture their email address? Now is when we build the funnel. So you're going to have two audiences. You're going to have the audience that you already have on your list. So people who have already subscribed to you, who may fall within the category of potential buyers. And then you have targets, the people that you need to attract. The first group of people, which is your audience, you're going to look at your email list, and hopefully you've created multiple lists for every single opt-in and freebie, right? So I have a list for people who signed up for the Glow Up Challenge, and then I have a list of people who signed up, for squad goals, and then I have a list for people who signed up for, this webinar. So every single freebie that I offer, I have different lists for, so I know what people's interests are. I know that someone who signed up for squad goals, which is growing a 30-day challenge to grow your social media following, might not be the right person if I'm trying to sell, a live in-person class, in Atlanta. Or someone who comes to the passive income webinar might not be a good candidate to, have a one-on-one coaching package with me, because maybe they're a side hustler and they don't have the funds at the moment. So there are certain things you want to keep into consideration when you're marketing to your already existing list. Your targets are people who match your brand persona that we figured out in the planning stage. So we'll go back to the financial workshop example. Someone who reads Rich Dad Poor Dad, someone who follows MyFab Finance, someone who's interested in personal finance, and somebody who lives in Atlanta. So you would use those 4 details about the person to put out ads, right? To put out Facebook ads, to put out Instagram ads, Twitter ads. You can do ad retargeting. And this isn't necessary for every single funnel, but it's great if you're trying to speed up the process, especially if you're selling a digital product or service that you don't need to be present to deliver. Now, if you're doing something like an event, this is also a great way to attract people, because you can market directly to people who might not be in the city that you're in. So for example, I live in Atlanta and I'm going to be having an event in New York in April. I can target people in New York without ever meeting them, without having to be up there to, communicate with them. All I have to do is just set up some parameters on social media and let it do its thing. Yes, so I see in here that they recommended ConvertKit to set up different lists and using Wave apps. I use Wave apps when I had first started to do my accounting, but I found that QuickBooks, even though it's a paid app, it just works so much better and integrates so much better with so many different things online that I just felt that it was a better option for me. But Wave is definitely very, very good if you're first starting out and you need a free resource to track your business sales, for sure. And ConvertKit, I also listed that down below in the description for the video. ConvertKit and MailChimp are the 2 email marketing softwares that I recommend for people who are just starting out. I use Autopilot, which you could probably see in my navigation bar, which is a way more high-level, intense kind of software. But ConvertKit and MailChimp are great. MailChimp is perfect if you have no list, if you've never collected any emails, because it's free for the first 2,000 subscribers. And ConvertKit is great if you have a whole bunch of different content upgrades and leads and things like that, because you can easily create lists and add tags as well. So I've used both. I used to use ConvertKit last year and I upgraded to Autopilot at the end of 2016 because I just needed something with a little bit more functionality, like text messages, pop-ups, and things like that. Yeah, for sure. So Lauren says she uses MailChimp and ConvertKit for different things. Absolutely. They're great. I still use MailChimp for some of my content upgrades as well. And then once they go through the funnel, I switch them over to Autopilot, because Autopilot, I pay $65 a month. And honey, if you are not paying me, I do not need to be paying for you. So all of my free kind of freebie customers hang out in MailChimp to go through some funnels. And then once they become a customer, or if they are in a more high level funnel, then they go over to Autopilot. So for example, like you guys are on Autopilot because I wanted the option of being able to send you a text reminder for the webinar today. Okay, so back. So you have your 2 audiences, your audience that already exists, and then your targets. Now you need to write initial emails. Another mistake people make is giving the same messages to every single audience. You can't do that. Why? Because you cannot assume that people already know who you are and they're going to be willing to trust you, right? So the initial email A that I write for my audience, for my people on my list already, is going to be different from the initial email that I write to my targets, because my targets don't know me, right? If they just stumbled across me on a Facebook ad or, on Twitter or something like that, and they're just joining my list, they don't really know me that well. They don't know my story. So my initial email to them is going to be more so introducing myself, introducing, my area of expertise, providing them some sort of context. And then is when I start to sell them. Audience A is more so like, thank you so much for downloading my freebie. You're awesome. And we're going to get to this. Okay, so this is a really, really basic funnel. So you'll see on the right side, you have 3 emails. The first email is going to be to excite your audience and sharing your why. The next email is going to be teaching something valuable. So sharing a how-to, a tutorial, and just something more that's a little bit meaty. And then the last email is to sell. And obviously the goal is to get people to buy. This is a very simple 3 email funnel, and it works for products that are very cheap. Right? So you can't send 3 emails and expect to sell somebody on a $497 package or, a $995 one-on-one coaching program. That's going to take more emails. That's going to take more like 7 emails. But for something that's quick and small, so I know that Nakia was talking about like workshops and workbooks. I know we talked about, like ebooks, digital products. If you're like a blogger and you want to sell courses or something like that, this might be better if you're under the $100 price point, where you can kind of help people make a decision fairly quickly. Like people go out to dinner and spend more than $100 in a heartbeat. Like I spend more than $100 on Hennessy on any given weekend. So you don't need to feel like you need to do a lot of selling to people. If you present your product or your service properly, it's not going to take a lot of convincing, right? So let's use an example from somebody in here. Let's see. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Kristen. You guys slid in there after I said my hellos. Okay, let's see. I do events. Need verbal branding for businesses and create and publish your own content and or marketing campaign. Okay, let's see what else is in here. Side business, work-life balance, coaching, photography. Okay, let's go with Aspen. So Aspen is a photographer, super adorable, love her so much. And she obviously wants to provide photography services to potential clients. Let's say that Aspen decided that, in the Atlanta area, yes, Hennessy, y'all already know. I used to be a Patron drinker, but then I got into the brown. I can't be messing with the tequila no more. I'm too old. So Aspen, let's say Aspen decided that she really loves to work with pregnant women, right? Like she really loves to do maternity shoots. And obviously like Beyonce just slayed her maternity shoot. So everybody and their mother wants a lit maternity shoot, right? Like they want the lights, they want the floral arrangements, they want the makeup, they want to be beat to death. So that's who Aspen's brand persona is, right? She wants to be able to target pregnant women who want to do maternity shoots, right? And obviously they have to be in the Atlanta area because that's where she's located. The problem is that they have never, it's their first pregnancy. They've never, taken a maternity shoot before. And they know they want the pictures, but they're not really sure like when they should take them. Like, do they take them at 6 months? Do they take them at 8 months? Like, they're just confused. They know that they want some sort of maternity pictures, but they don't know when or why or how. They're just lost and confused, right? Obviously, the qualifiers in this situation is that they need to be pregnant, right? Like, they need to have babies. So she would be targeting people who, for example, read, what's that site? I don't even know what it is, but read like whatever maternity baby blogs exist, like first time moms, pregnancy type of content and things like that. People who follow, other brands that have to do with pregnancy. So for example, there is, and I don't even know why I know this, but there's this contraption that pregnant women can add to their jeans to allow them to wear jeans, Yeah, the bump, that's perfect. To allow them to wear jeans through their pregnancy without having to buy new ones, right? So she will follow like and target people who follow brands like that, or people who sell breast pumps and like baby clothes, right? All of these things where pregnant women are going to be hanging out at. She's going to be stalking Instagram to be finding hashtag, dress the bump, or fashionable bump, and all of these women who already like to take pictures of their bump, while pregnant, but they don't have, a maternity shoot. So that's the audience, for example. She might have some clients who she's worked with in the past who are now pregnant, who got engaged or whatever, or even if they didn't get engaged, and they're now pregnant. So that will be her audience. And then her targets, again, like I said, will be people who read the bump, who use the hashtags that I mentioned, who are, actively on the internet engaging with maternity-like information. She's going to offer them, a guide, maybe a freebie. It might be a checklist, what to bring to your maternity shoot, or how to plan your maternity theme, because there are different themes for different kinds of shoots. So how to plan your maternity theme, whatever it would be. She gets these people on her list. The first thing that she wants to do is excite them. So share your why. Why should they get these pictures in the first place? Why do they need this product or service? Why should they even care? Okay, well, this might be your only baby, girl. So like you need to be able to document the moments, right? This, this is a beautiful time in your life, and you want to be able to look back and show your kids what they look like when they were in the belly. Girl, you're going to get all the Instagram likes because, Instagram loves pregnant women. I don't know. I don't even want maternity pictures, so I can't give you all the whys, but I'm sure that if you chat with some people who have taken maternity pictures, they can tell you why it's important to them in their lives. And you're going to put that in the email, get them excited, get them emotionally connected and invested in the product or service. Then a couple of days later, 3 days later, 5 days later, you're going to send them some sort of how-to. So following up on the freebie that you gave them. So let's say that the freebie was, how to plan your maternity theme. The how-to is going to be where to find inexpensive props for your maternity shoot, right? And you're going to send them a list of all of the different places where they can go to buy different props, plan out themes, how to organize their Pinterest board, whatever it is. And then last, you're going to sell them. So you already got them excited and told them why they needed to have a maternity shoot. Then you told them how to get prepared for it, right? What they need to have together before they come to you. And then you're going to sell them. So you're going to talk to them in the last email about your service, how long you've been working as a photographer, what you know, why you're the best photographer for the job, how much you love pregnant women, how much you love babies, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then here we are, drive them to your landing page and call it a day. Now, the funnel doesn't end here. There are a ton of different things that you can do afterwards, but a very simple follow-up is, let's say that the person did or didn't buy. You know that after 9 months, this person's not going to be pregnant anymore. So you could set up another email that comes around maybe, 10 months later, or if you have in the system how far along they are. So maybe when they downloaded the freebie, they were, 3 months along, then you can send them an email 6 months later and say, hey, I know your baby probably has arrived or is about to arrive. I would love to take your newborn pictures. Hey, I know your baby about to be a year old. I would like to, would love to take your 1-year-old portraits. And you can literally continue on until the baby is 5 and they don't want pictures anymore. So funnels can literally go on forever and ever depending on the product or service. You just have to be aware of the opportunities for you to continue to upsell them. Another funnel could be, you sold somebody email challenge, and then maybe down the line in a month, you can check in and say, hey, I know that you bought my email challenge. I'm now offering one-on-one services, or I'm now doing brand audits. But it's just a way where you have these automated emails in the queue that shoot out to your customers or potential customers and keep them engaged in the conversation with you. So that way you don't have to sit there and write, on your calendar reminder, email Sabrina who gave birth. There's already email that's going to come. She already has something in the queue to engage her. So that's really what marketing automation is about, thinking about what opportunities do I have to sell and how can I set that up in advance so I don't have, so that's another thing I don't have to think about. Okay. So this is what it looks like in theory, right? Like on paper, like I just explained, it's really cute. This is what it looks like in real life. This is one of my funnels. So if you go on my website and you click there, I have a how can I help you section. And in the how can I help you section, one of the things is I need help creating a personal brand, right? So if you submit a form for that, you get a 2-hour Get Unstuck workshop, which basically is just an old webinar that I repurposed that teaches you all of the personal branding basics. And there are a trillion things that happen, right? I update the lead source. So how was it that they first found me, right? If they come from the footer versus if they come from a page, I want to know that. Then I send them a welcome email. I know that they're eventually going to end up back on my site because the webinar is hosted on my site. So then I have a pop-up that tells them that there's a sale going on for one of my bundles. So I know they're interested in personal branding. So once they're back on my site, a pop-up is going to tell them that my personal branding, make yourself marketable bundle is on sale and there's a coupon, right? After they see that, I wait 5 days and then I send them an email with a quiz, a how-to, right? How to know if your brand is on point or not. And then I wait 3 days and then I sell them again. Hey, I noticed that you haven't bought from me. Do you need help? Are there questions that I can answer for you? Simple, to the point. Some people respond, some people don't, some people buy, some people don't, but I can go living my life without having to worry about manually sending out these emails every single time somebody signs up for my list. So this is the evergreen funnel. So whether somebody signs up, at 1 o'clock in the morning or at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the funnel is already set up to run in the background and send them these messages when they need to go out so that I can continue to engage them and have the conversation with them. And some of you probably have gotten them too if you've been on my list for a while. Okay, so step 1 was getting the planning together, right? Figuring out your who, the problems, the qualifiers, all that good stuff. Then we had the lead magnets to attract them. We figured out our audience. We wrote our funnels. Now, the other issue is, so we got people engaged in the funnel and then we send them to our landing page and our landing page is trash. Our landing page does not convert, is hideous. No, like people can't even stay on the page, right? Or we don't even have a landing page. We're just sending them to this random PayPal link and then PayPal opens up and we just expect homegirl to put her card information in there without knowing anything, right? And I'm laughing because I can vividly remember this happening to me. I remember being in clearly being in somebody's funnel and then getting to the end of it and be like, hey, I'm kind of interested. I want to learn more. And then I clicked on the button and the button literally took me to a PayPal page. And I'm like, girl, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm at PayPal? So you don't want to tell me nothing else. You don't want to give me some details. You don't want to tell me how this is going to go, nothing. Needless to say, I didn't buy. So you want to think about, how do you sell people online? Look at this period just being disrespectful. Okay, gotta get my grammar together. So think about your landing pages, right? What do your landing pages look like? And each of your products or services should have landing page. How can I put this? There are some people who do certain things and sell certain things, and they think that their landing page is a one-size-fits-all, right? So if you offer books, each book needs to have its own landing page selling me on why I need the book. Each challenge needs to have its own landing page on why I need the challenge. Each service needs to have its own page on why I need the service. You can't just throw everything, on one page and then expect people to buy. You need to give people as much information as possible, especially if your product or service is more expensive. So I'll go back to the photography example. There are many photographers who have websites that are portfolios and they have a trillion great pictures. And then there's just a page that says packages and it's just like, this kind of package, $10, this kind of package, $50, this kind of package, $100. But you're not really telling me anything else. You're not really telling me a story. So just having a price list on your website is not going to cut it, right? You need to have a landing page. So your landing page is going to be made up of 4 main areas. the problem. So you're going to present the problem to your person and show them that you understand their problem, right? So for me, I understand that you're a side hustler, that you're trying to make money with very limited time and very limited resources. So you want to pose a problem so that you can prove that you've been there, or that you know how they feel, and that you are then the solution, which is the next part. So you pose the problem to them. So, you will write, I don't know, let's see. You want to produce your own show, but you don't know how. Or you want to have the best pictures on Instagram, but you don't have a Canon camera. Or, you want to get your money right, but you're tired of reading 50,000 books on personal finance. These are just examples I'm making up off the top of my head, and just listing kind of like where they're at. Like be the mirror to your potential customer. Like, this is where you're currently at. This is where you're currently struggling with. This is what currently frustrates you. This is what's wrong in your business, or, in your life. And then in this next section, this is how I'm going to solve it for you. So I know that you're at A, but I can get you to B. And the way that I'm going to get you to B is through my product, service, e-course, webinar, whatever. After you outline what your product or service is, then you actually go into the sale. And this is where you give an overview of what are you actually selling, right? Coaching packages. How long is a package? How often am I communicating with you? What are the deliverables that I get? How long is each session? Literally outlining everything about the sale. How much it costs, all that good stuff. If you have payment plans, if you offer refunds, all that good stuff should be there. And then in the last section is the rebuttals. And that is all of the questions that you can anticipate from a customer, like all of the reasons why they'll probably tell you no. So if you offer social media services, for example, one of the questions that you could answer is, why do I need to hire you when I could just, get Hootsuite? Or why should I pay you $20 an hour when I can just get an intern for free? Why should I do X, when Y can happen? And if you want an example of that, you can go in the description box below the video. I have a link to the Hire Me page, and you'll see that for my profit process, I have a FAQ section where I kind of go through all of those things. Like, okay, what if I want a refund, or what if it doesn't work out? I try to anticipate what questions people are going to ask, and I answer them. And then if people email me and ask me other questions, I'm constantly updating my landing page to make sure that I anticipate those questions. Because if one person has a concern, then it's very likely that somebody else is going to have the same concern. So you always want to be paying attention to what are the questions that you're getting around your products and services, and how can you answer that on the landing page. How do you create landing pages? I have Squarespace, so I just create my landing pages on Squarespace. I'm cheap, okay? As y'all could see in my young receipts over here, I spent $19,708 in business expenses. A lot of that was foolery. So I had lead pages, I had ClickFunnels, I had this, and I had that. Girl, you don't need to pay $497 for nobody's lead pages. Just get Squarespace, build yourself a page, call it a day. You do not need to pay $497 for nobody's webinar software. You could use Young Google Hangouts for the free, right? So I really, really, really adore Squarespace. It is not for everybody. I wrote a blog post about this called How to Build Your Website in 30 Minutes. But Squarespace is not for everybody. It's more so for somebody who has more of an eye for design and things like that. WordPress is better if you're kind of like a newbie, or if you're not really like graphic design savvy, because it gives you a lot of parameters to work within. So basically you can't mess it up. And WordPress has a ton of different plugins. One of it is called EntrePages, which I'm going to type in and it's actually free. They're obviously, going to try to upsell you on different things, but EntrePages is great because it's free and you can build landing pages on there as well. So that's a good option if you use like a WordPress. Girl, if you're on Wix, Weebly, any of these other foolish ones, you need to go. You need to go over to WordPress. You need to come over to the winning team on Squarespace. But Wix and Weebly and all them other free ones, they ain't gonna work. On trap pages. Okay, Chastity. It's EntrePages. They are actually the company that owns Entreport, which let me type that too, because y'all know my accent crazy. Entreport, which is an email provider, similar to like Infusionsoft. Child, get your money back on Lead Pages. Get it back. Get it back. I mean, I like Lead Pages for what it was. I use it for work, and then I bought a subscription for myself, and I quickly realized that it was way too expensive. Like, I'm not paying you $4.97 to put together a webinar page. Like, y'all saw my webinar page, and here we are living life just fine. Granted, it does have some great things with analytics and things like that, but for somebody who spent almost $20,000 on business expenses, I've cut every possible foolish thing out of my life. And the thing that sucks is that a lot of people in the online space, they find something and they tell everybody to jump on it, right? So ConvertKit came out about a year ago, and they got some big name bloggers to become affiliates and to endorse it, and now everybody and their mothers on ConvertKit. But it's like, girl, if your email list is 200 people, stay on MailChimp where it's free. Like, you don't need to be jumping to all the tools that all these bloggers who make way more money than you are using, right? Like, if you make $40,000 a year, you're not going to go pay $3,000 in rent, right? Like, you're going to get a cheaper apartment. It's the same thing with your softwares. If you make, $500 or $1,000 a month, you can't expect to pay, $75 a month on email, and then $60 a month on this tool, and $50. By the time you look, you're going to be broke. MailerLite has free landing pages. Okay, Kim, come through with the resources. So MailerLite, first of all, I almost said MailerLite. MailerLite has free landing pages, and EntrePages has free landing pages. There are some other ones like Unbounce, like Unbounce. There are a ton of different like landing pages, but I know that EntrePages is free, and then MailerLite is free too. So try it out, right? Like, don't spend all this money building a super expensive landing page, because then what happens if it doesn't work, right? If you go and you build all of this stuff, and then you don't even make a sale. So now you've wasted all this money that you're not even going to be making back. So it's great to try different strategies out for the free. And then if it works, you can upgrade to new products and services. Child, let me tell you about ClickFunnels. So I was on ClickFunnels today because I wanted to load the webinar on there. When I saw that it was $97 a month, I was like, listen, we're going to figure out how to do this another way. Okay, because I don't have $97 for you. All right, like, I just don't. You know what I could do with $97? I could go to Hibachi and get 3 meals. I could get like 2 bottles of Hennessy and a couple chasers. Okay, I could get food delivery. I could get groceries, and I could probably go to the movies. There's too much that I could do with $97 for me to be playing ClickFunnels. And that's just the basic plan. Young ClickFunnels really charges $297 if you want to use the webinar software and then all of the like emails and landing pages and stuff like that. Child, they play games. I ain't doing it. So again, get on this young free Google Hangouts, because listen, I don't have $97 for ClickFunnels a month, and I definitely don't have $297 for them either. I was just on there today, and that's why I ended up on Google Hangouts, because when you try to do the most, you do the most. Right? You know what I could do with $297? I could fly to Las Vegas for $297 from Atlanta. Like, let's just not, like, don't do this to me. ClickFunnels, like, let's just not. So that's landing pages. Another good option is what I was using last year too, was I created a Weebly account, and I actually built some of my landing pages on Weebly. It's free. At the bottom, it does say powered by Weebly, and it's a little bit ratchet, but again, it's free, and it's good to start getting your feet wet if you need to build funnels. Best one ever. Thanks. I know we're like almost running out of time. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm gonna be quick. Okay, so now you got your landing pages together. Great. Now is when you get to the social media. Girl, sir, ma'am, granddaddy, do not be out here putting out tweets if you do not have these first 4 steps in place, right? Like, don't be driving people to your website if you don't have some way to capture their information, some funnel to sell them, and some landing page to offer some information on, because you're going to be wasting your time. Like, you're literally going to be doing it for the love. And I don't know about you, but my landlord does not take love checks. He takes money. So having all of this amazing social media following and being on Twitter chats and doing all of this without any system in place is going to really be a waste of time. Let's see. Hey, girl. Still trying to figure out what I want to sell. Sell what people ask you about the most. So the reason why I started offering, different products and services was because I would get the same questions. Like, people were always asking me, how do I build my personal brand? How did you design your website? How do you always get a job? How do you do this? So I basically took all of those questions that I always got asked, I answered them in blog posts. And then eventually I turned the blog post into a course. And then when I got tired of teaching the course in like 2013, then I basically took all of the copy and all of the transcripts from the course and turned it into a book. So you just need to think about, what do people already see you as an expert? Where do people already see you as an expert at? What do people already ask you questions around? What are you qualified to do, right? Because just because you love to do makeup, it does not mean that you need to be a makeup artist, right? This is just like a plain and simple example. But you need to think about, what are people already asking you for, and then figure out a way to get them to run you the money. The email funnel map and stuff, it is in the email. So in the email, you should have the link to the campaign map, and it sends you to a blank map that you guys can use. I wish I had the link, but I don't. If anybody has a link to the campaign map, can you please drop it in the chat? Thank you. Okay, so back to the social media. And so there are 2 kinds of social media promotions that you're going to do. 20 of them are going to be for content, right? So 20 of them is going to be promoting that blog post and that freebie that you created. And then 10 of them is going to be sending people to the actual landing pages. 20 plus 10 makes 30, which means you have a whole entire month covered. So what you're going to do is, each blog post, you're going to write 10 different tweets or posts for, and promote them twice throughout the month. And for your landing page, you're going to create 10 messages and schedule it out throughout the month. So for example, for me, I would first promote my blog post every single day for a week. So that's 7. Then in the following week, I'd promote that same blog post every other day during the week. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's now 10. Then I continue that cadence throughout the month. So I might do, one on a random Sunday, then I might do a Tuesday, then I might do a Wednesday, then I may do a Saturday. But basically, I just cover the first week 3 times in the following week, and then the rest of the messages sporadically throughout the rest of the month. That's driving people to my blog content or the freebie. The next thing I'm going to do is write 10 messages driving people directly to the landing page. So for example, for my profit process service, I'm going to drive people to blog posts that have freebies that are going to drop them into a funnel to promote that service. Then I'm going to write 10 tweets, Instagram, Facebook posts, whatever, that take people directly to my Hire Me page, right? Because I want to have that balance. I want to send the people who have already been following me for a while directly to something that I'm selling. And then I want to send people that I'm acquiring, that are just starting to follow me, to that free content again, so we can start to build that relationship and they can start to trust me. And we're going to go over exactly what these messages are in just a second. So give me a minute to go over the last piece. But we're going to go over all of this in depth, exactly what these 10 messages are and all that good stuff in a second. So then after you write all the social media copy and you schedule it, I use CoSchedule. I've linked that down below. They have a 2-week free trial. So get with the program. If you really poor and you cannot afford the whatever it is, $29, $39 a month, girl, create different email accounts and keep winning with these free trials. Like, I don't understand. Like, I do not understand. Like, hustling is a habit. Y'all, if you cannot afford something and they got a free trial, girl, keep making emails. I mean, really, they free. So I just have to get that off my chest. Moving on. So like I said, I use CoSchedule to schedule all my messages. It's amazing. It schedules messages literally in like 2 minutes because I already have a template set up. There's a $19 a month for co-schedule. I'm on like the $39 plan because I'm bougie. And I want like all the templates and all the automations and all the integrations and stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely a free one. Like, hello, I must finish up my starter Q free trial, which is 30 days long, y'all. Ooh, let us know how it goes, Aspen. Let us know how it goes. I did try Meet Edgar, but that was like $49 a month. And again, no. Y'all don't understand. I don't pay more than like $12 for a shirt on Amazon. Like, I'm not paying you $49, girl. Bye. Okay, so now that you have all of this in place, now is when you goal set, right? So you have figured out your planning, you got your lead magnets, you got your email funnel written, you got your landing page on deck, and you started sharing social media posts. The next thing that you need to do is figure out, how do I know if my funnel is working or not, right? At what point am I going to decide if this is a thing? Okay. So the first thing that you need to decide is you need to have a money goal. How much money do you want to make for the year, for the month, per week, whatever? For example, I know, I'm going to make up a random number. I know that my bills are $2,000 a month. I know that I spend $500 on tools and software and stuff. So I know that I need to make at least $2,500 every single month in order to survive. Right? If you're a side hustler, maybe you want to try to match it to whatever your check is because you want to replace your income. So, let's say that you make $1,600 every 2 weeks, then you want to, try to match that to your business. But you want to decide how much you need to make in a year, in a month, whatever. Then you also need to know your conversion rate. And your conversion rate is found by dividing, y'all ready? Write this down. By dividing the amount of people that went to your landing page by the amount of people that actually purchased. So if in 7 days, 100 people go to my landing page and 10 of those people buy, my conversion rate is 10%. Okay? So you can go to your site right now if you're already selling something, and you could see, okay, how many people have landed on this particular landing page or on this product page or whatever it is. And in the same amount of time, how many people have actually purchased. And then you'll have a conversion rate. If you are selling something new, so there's no way for you to figure out your conversion rate, make something up, right? Just guesstimate. So I know, for example, if I'm selling something that's $15, I should be able to sell it to at least 5 people in a week. Right? So I'll set a goal. Instead of setting a conversion rate, I'll set a goal of, 5 sales or 10 sales or whatever to kind of validate my product or service. Because guess what? If after that week, 10 people haven't purchased, then maybe I need to update my landing page, or maybe my funnel isn't working, or maybe my freebie isn't enticing enough so people aren't even getting on my list. I need to go back and see where it's broken. But if you don't set a goal, and if you don't know what that, what that starting line or finish line is going to be, then you're going to just continue letting things run without ever making any adjustments. The next thing that you need to know, which is 30 days after you already started running a funnel, is your best and worst acquisition channels, which means, where are people actually buying from you, right? For me, my best acquisition channel is Instagram. I know that people click the link in my bio, and they're more like 5% of people that come through Instagram buy from me, right? So I know that I'm going to spend more money on Instagram ads than I am on Facebook ads. Or I know that I'm going to spend more time, taking pictures for my Instagram than writing tweets, because that's where I'm getting the most money from. On the flip side, you need to know, what is your worst acquisition channel. So let's say that I did this webinar today and nobody ended up wanting to work with me, or nobody bought, any products or services from me. Then guess what? Young Emily is not going to be doing any more webinars, because I'm not going to waste my time with y'all for 2 hours on a Wednesday, right? So you need to kind of decide what is worth spending your time on. And the way to do that is figuring out, where does your money come from, right? So if you spend $4.97 on young lead pages, and lead pages has not gotten you $1, then guess what? You need to get rid of lead pages. I track my my channels with Google Analytics. I do everything with Google Analytics UTM tags. That's a link. UTM tags, you can Google it. It's basically a way for you to know by your links where people are coming from. But a cool thing is that with CoSchedule, it automatically already does that for you. So it automatically embeds all the UTM tags into your Facebook and Twitter posts, so you can tell how well you're doing on those channels. Okay, so then once you figure out what your best and worst channels are, then that's when you make the changes. So like I said, that's when you go back and you see where is it broken, right? What channels do I need to not spend time or money on? What channels do I need to up, the ante on? Where are people getting stuck, right? So if 500 people, let's say 500 people fall into your funnel with freebie A, but only 20 people fall into your funnel with freebie B, then guess what? Get rid of freebie B and have freebie A both places, right? Or if you see that, people love your webinars but aren't really downloading your checklist, then you're going to want to do more webinars. So you just want to see what's working and what's not, and then make the changes 30 days after to what's working and eliminate what's not. Do not let the internet fool you. Just because people are out here selling on webinars, doing Facebook ads, doing this, doing that, does not mean that it's going to work for you and your business. Success and business models are not transferable. The way that I do my marketing might not be the way that you need to do your marketing. So it's very important to always be analyzing, because you need to tweak your strategy as you go along. Okay? So let's just get that clear. All right. So now, like I was saying, with the social media and with the goals, this is what I use every month. Don't be overwhelmed. I know it's looking like a lot, but it's easy. So this is my social media templates sheet. And as you can see, across here in the gray line is the kind of tweet or post that I want to create. Up top are examples. And then here is the headline of the blog post, freebie page, whatever it is, and the link to that specific page. So for example, let's say, I don't know, social media. Let's say 5 ways to build your social media. That's a post. The link will be here. And the reason why I have it set up like this is because in CoSchedule, I just copy and paste the link, and then the link is auto-populated to all of these tweets, posts that you see here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out 9 other ways that I can promote this one blog post, right? So start the update with a question. So if the post is 5 ways to build your social media, I might start the question with, are you interested in building your social media? Here are 5 ways that you can do that. Link. Let's do another one. Write in a sentence. Read this blog post so you can figure out the best ways for you to grow your Instagram strategy today. Boom. Let's go with hashtags. Social media is a place to engage your audience. Hashtag Wednesday Wisdom, hashtag Black Creatives. Commentary tweet. That's basically where I just kind of like give some sort of comment about the actual blog post. So loved writing this blog post on how to build social media. Shared my best tips. Link. Pull a stat, a quote, something from the article. And then switch your title around. So the original title of the article was 5 ways to build your social media. I would switch it around and put how to build your social media in 5 ways. Boom, here we are. There are 10. Now you have 10 different ways to market one thing, to share one post. And then literally I just go in here and I type in all of the posts, the link, and then I write the updates. And then like I said, each kind of post, so each column, if you will, I promote that particular message twice on my social media channels. Wait. No, yeah, if you get stuck, just refresh it, because Google Hangouts be hating, but it's free, so we can't complain. We can't complain, y'all. It's free. So yeah, so that is how I break down my social media. So I'll come in here, I'll write, like I said, the landing page or the blog post, and then I'll write the post. All these posts across in the gray, there are 9 of these. And then this one, the original one, which is the actual title of the post, freebie, landing page, whatever, is the 10th one. So you would do one of these for your landing page, create all the messages and schedule them. And then you would do this for that blog post, the freebie, write all the messages and schedule them twice in a month, because you don't want to waste your social media updates. Just because I could tweet the same tweet every single day and nobody would think that it's a duplicate, because a tweet lasts a maximum of like 13 minutes, if that, depending on how many people a person is following. So don't be worried about, bombarding people, because social media is such a fluid medium that not everybody's going to see all of your stuff at once. Okay, so that's the social media update. Now for the goals. So I'm going to come in here, and this is my business goal tracker. This is a product that I put together because basically there's no software that does this, which is really annoying. But I put it together. There's a link to it down in the description box as well. So I'll give you guys an example. So here are the goals. This is how I set my goals every single month, right? So we have your yearly goal. How much money do you want to make? The profit that you make from each product. So this is very, 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 very important. The profit is how much you retail it for minus how much it costs. So I'll give you an example. I sell my Sanity and Success journal for $20. I only make $6 off the journal because Squarespace charges me 30 cents per transaction. It costs $4 for me to ship, and it costs like $8 for me to print. I'm just rounding it out because I don't know exactly, but I know at the end of the day, I'm making $6 off the product. So instead of putting $20, I'm going to put $6, because that's how much money is going to be in my pocket. For Squad Goals is a digital service. So I make exactly what people pay for it, which is $15. It could also be, if I wanted to be really, really petty, I could deduct, what I pay for like Lola. My dog is doing the most. She's such a hater. $15. So I could be really petty and include like what it cost me to pay for like email system. So I could like deduct autopilot from here and do some extra stuff, but I just keep it plain and simple. So let's say I want to make $5,000 from Squad Goals in a year. It costs $15 for the product. And the areas that you see in gray is the areas that you're going to plug in. All of these areas auto-populate. It's $15, right? And then I'm going to put my conversion rate. So the last time that I did this, which was, I think in October, my conversion rate was 3.4. That's going to change, and I'm going to show you how. So whenever you up your conversion rate, which means whenever you do better at your social media or better at your landing page, or you improve your funnels and you improve your conversion rate, then you have to do less work. So with my current conversion rate, which is 3.44, I know that in order for me to reach my $5,000 goal, I need to send at least 807 people to my landing page per month. Based on that conversion rate, if 3.44% of those 800 people end up buying, I'm going to make $416.67, which means I need 28 people to buy it per month, and I need 7 people per week to buy it. So now I know if 7 people in 1 week didn't buy Squad Goals, when I'm pushing it, when I've created a funnel, when I'm out here pushing all the tweets, something's wrong, right? Something's off. Like I'm not hitting the mark. I'm not hitting the benchmark. So I need to go back. Is there a typo? Is the page not loading? Are people able to download my freebie? Like what's going on that I'm not hitting the goal? Can you share your printing company? I use CreateSpace. I just typed it in. And that's an Amazon product. So yeah, so your conversion rates. In the same templates thingamajig, I do all of my conversions and I track all of my sales manually, because you cannot trust these automated systems. You need to do it yourself sometimes. So in December, so from the week of December 27th to January 1st, I sold Squad Goals, right? In total, I made $827 that week selling the challenge. Cost of shipping was $0 because obviously it's a digital product, so it was free. So my profit was $820. From my Google Analytics, I saw that 820 people visited that landing page, which is weird that 820 people visited the landing page and I made $820. I need to play that in the lotto. But nonetheless, so 820 people visited the landing page and I ended up getting 76 sales, right? So now my conversion rate is 9.27%. And the reason that my conversion rate went up is because I added a monetary component. So instead of just having the challenge, now if you were the person that grew your Instagram the most, you could win $75 in cash. And if you increase your engagement the most, you won $25 in cash and a journal. So that, I think, upped the ante and made people a little bit more excited. And especially because it was also the end of the year. So people are naturally already gearing up for 2017. They want to grow their following. They want to make more money. So people were just more excited to buy. So now that my conversion rate is 9.27%, I will go back over here to my goals and update it to 9.27. And now you see that this changed. Before, I needed to strive to send 800 people a month to my page because my conversion increased. Now I only need to send 299 to reach my goal. So I don't need to push squad goals as hard as I do other products because it converts well. So I already know that my funnel is working. People are buying, so I can go about my life. And I know that I will probably sell 7 weekly and 28 per month, which is basically like 1 a day, as long as I send 300 people to that landing page per month. Make sense? So let's do another example. Let's say you want to make $10,000, right? And you sell coaching packages. And the profit that you make from your coaching package, let's say it's $500, but you only make $400 because you need to pay for, I don't know, a designer and other expenses. You just have other expenses. So you only make $400 out of the $500 that you charge for the coaching package, right? So then you would come in here and you would put your conversion rate. You kind of started selling and you saw that, over a week you sold 2 coaching packages and about, I don't know, 75 people went to your page. Well, actually, let's round it out. Let's say 100 people went to your page and you sold 2 coaching packages. That means that your conversion rate is 2%, right? That means that now you need to strive every single month to get 104 people to your page so that you could hit your $10,000 yearly goal or $833 dollars per month. Make sense? So now when you build out your funnels and such, you can see, okay, I need to strive to make 1 sale this week. If I don't make 1 sale this week, there's something wrong with my funnel. If I don't sell at least 2 people per month, there's something wrong with my funnel. There's something wrong with my offering. There's something wrong with my landing page. And it is your job to look in your analytics and see where are people getting stuck. Do people open up all of the emails in your funnel and then don't buy? You're not making the offer enticing enough, right? Do people spend 5 minutes on your landing page and then don't buy? You're not offering them enough information. There's some barrier to them buying from you, right? Maybe you aren't even getting people into the funnel at all, right? Maybe people aren't clicking through your tweets. Maybe your tweets aren't enticing enough. And that's why nobody's getting to the blog post and then nobody's getting to the freebie in order to be in the funnel, right? Like there are so many things that go into this when you're building out an automated system. And that's why you have to be so diligent in tracking stuff. And that's why I created this business goal tracker, because I was just sick of kind of like just shooting in the dark, right? I became very, very deliberate about what I was offering. And that's why I was able to make the changes. That's why I was able to update squad goals. And now I went from, a 3% conversion rate to a 9% conversion rate, right? That's how I was able to know, okay, this month I'm going to hit X because my traffic went up or my traffic went down. So I know that I'm probably not going to make as much money this month. My best month last year was in May. And the reason it was my best month was because I had just switched over my site to Squarespace. I had just launched the Make Yourself Marketable bundle and the traffic was nuts. I think I was blogging like 3 times a week. So I was driving a lot of traffic to my site. So naturally, I made more money. Towards the end of last year, aside from squad goals, I didn't promote anything in December. I basically didn't even blog in October, November. So I obviously didn't make that much money because I wasn't consistently driving traffic. Excuse me. So you need to take all of these things into consideration when you build your funnels and things. And like I said, the link to this is in the description. If you want to download it for yourself, you can. So there's a tab for you to track all your sales and figure out your conversion rate. I do this every single month. There's a tab to set your goals, so you can put all of your products, how much you want to make from each product, and then you can kind of set up a goal for yourself. So I know, okay, I need to drive more people to squad goals than I do to my coaching page, right? If we use this example. So I'm going to prioritize tweets about squad goals over tweets about my coaching package, right? Because I know I just need to drive more people there. Then there's a monthly growth tab, which is just basically to keep track of how much money you made, your profit, blog traffic. And here you can start to see trends. If you saw that your blog traffic was high in a particular month and so was your profit, then you know that your funnels are working. If you see that your profit is very high, but your blog traffic is low, that means maybe you had a speaking engagement. Maybe your tweets that are sending people directly to the landing page are working very well. Maybe you got featured, in a magazine. For when I got featured in XO Nicole, I got a whole bunch of sales because there was a whole bunch of new people being driven to my site from somewhere else, not necessarily from my tweets or in a funnel, but they were just arriving on my site from an unexpected source. So having this is really important because you want to track, like I said, what's working, what's most profitable, what's driving the most traffic, all that stuff. And then obviously the blog promotion archive, which gives you just a breakdown of how you can promote the same thing 10 different ways. So I know we are 17 minutes over time, which happens every single time that I do a webinar, but I'm definitely going to be around for questions. So feel free to write them in the chat box. I'm going to jump on here. I'm going to stop screen sharing and so you can see my face and answer questions. Hey guys. I know how to live like a nerd, but I got no sleep. I went to sleep at 3 a.m. last night and I woke up at 8. So I'm looking home